What is going on, everybody? Super excited to have you all here. It's just an amazing day here on Friday. It's still morning for me here, so I'm probably sure for a lot of you it's night. But I'm just like excited today in general about everything about life and just very optimistic about it. And it's so funny that today's topic that I want to talk about is imposter syndrome because I literally dealt with it just this weekend and or just this week and past few days. And the thing is, no matter, even though I have a decent amount of experience in the design field, imposter syndrome, the feeling that I'm not good enough, oh look at somebody else, they're better than me, it doesn't go away. Even if you have 20 years of experience, you would always have imposter syndrome. And it's so funny because I was talking about it to my mom, and I was telling her about this whole imposter syndrome, what it is and stuff. And it's so funny because I've faced it so many times in my life, and it's that feeling where you look at job openings and they require certain things. You're like, huh, do I think I can do it? And even though you can, right? Nothing is rocket science. Like, it's not like our job as designers is like you're performing surgery on someone, right? Because that's a lot of responsibility. Where if you're operating on someone in the emergency room, if you mess up, that person is gone, that person is dead. Well, in design, it's rarely the case like that. A lot of things can be figured out on the job, but still, the imposter syndrome haunts us. It makes us like question our abilities. It makes us feel that we are not enough as designers. It makes us, and the worst part about imposter syndrome is that if you don't control it, let's say you had a dream job you wanted to apply to, you will talk yourself out of it. You will be like, you know what? I am not going to, apply for it. I'm not going to, go ahead and um, apply to this dream job of mine. And as I was thinking about all these things last night, I it kind of like resonated with me that one of the best ways that you kind of overcome imposter syndrome is literally by doing the work and not judging yourself. What I mean by that is, it's not our job to figure out, like, will people like our work, will people like our content, will I get accepted for this dream job, because it's not within our control, right? And the thing is, once you start, like, if you don't stop imposter syndrome, you will go down a rabbit hole. You'll be like, oh, there's going to be other applications from the top universities and top companies applying. Who am I to apply? Like, who am I? Maybe I shouldn't apply. And the moment you start entertaining those thoughts and you go down that rabbit hole, your whole day will go away. Like, literally, there was like one day I spent the whole day thinking about this whole imposter syndrome and why I'm not good enough. And the thing is, I did not do anything productive. Like, the whole day of mine was wasted. It was wasted because I didn't, do any progress on the thing I was supposed to do, because I was thinking about, okay, will people like my content? What will they think about it? Will it go viral or not? But the thing is, it's not my job to figure out whether the content will go viral, will people like it. My job is to create, right? Put it out there, do the work, and then, like, let the process, let the audience, let the viewers decide. And if it doesn't resonate, it's just feedback. Okay, got it. So if you wanted to apply for your dream job, you're like, okay, should I take on that freelance project? But I don't know if I can do it. You put in the best work. You put in the bid. You apply for it, and if you get it, awesome. And if you don't get it, guess what? You It's a feedback to improve. And if you do get the project, you will figure it out. It's a learning opportunity either ways. Um, and this is something that I really credit. I would say Matt D. Smith. Matt is someone I had on the podcast, and we talked about the same thing about overcoming imposter syndrome. And one of the things that he kind of gave me advice about was that with imposter syndrome, the longer you wait to do something, there's a higher likelihood that you will talk yourself out of doing it. So let me share a link to this in the podcast real quick, um, so you guys can check it out. But yeah, this is the link for it, I would say. So definitely check it out, I would say. And let me know what you think about the episode. But yeah. So essentially, what I learned from Matt, and through my own experiences, is that whether you're applying for your dream job, whether you're thinking about should I take on that freelance project, whether you think you should design this website, anything you wanted to do as a designer, there will be a voice inside your head that will say, wait, who on earth do you think you are? Why do you think you're good enough? And momentarily, you will pause on doing whatever you're supposed to do. You will think, like, oh, maybe I'll do it later, tomorrow. Now, that's the power of imposter syndrome, which is it will make you delay the thing that you wanted to do. And what happens then is you will delay it further and further. And eventually, like maybe a month passes, maybe a few months pass, you will talk yourself out of doing it. You'll be like, oh, yeah, I'm not good enough. Who am I to do it? And then, boom, it's done. You will not do it again. And that's the power when we see other creators and we're like, oh man, like look at this person, like they're so successful. Well, the thing is, they didn't cave into imposter syndrome. It's as simple as that. They just created the work, and boom, like, and then let the rest speak for itself. And this is especially true when we are constantly looking at all these work on Dribble, all this work on Insta, and everywhere, and everything is so visual. Like this is another problem with imposter syndrome as designers. Everything is so visual. So if you are not that good of a visual designer, like for example, I'm a B plus designer. Like I can do visual design, but that's not my strength. So the thing is, if I start comparing myself to like all these Insta and Dribble shots, and like, oh my god, um, like how I'm gonna do this, how I'm compared to them, that's the wrong mindset, because design is not just about visual aesthetics. It's a lot more than that. There's going to be a lot of other parts like UX research, UX design, UX strategy, so many other things where you can contribute UX. So when you look at that work, it's like it can be really demotivating. Like, oh my god, look at that dribbled shot, that slick animation. I can't do animation. So that's where I have to, like, my advice would be, look at it as a positive thing. Like, okay, cool. Like, do I want to try it myself? Do I enjoy animation and interaction? Maybe I don't. That's fine then. Right? Maybe I don't like visual design that much. Maybe I can focus more on the other side of design. So the thing is, don't get demotivated by that. And more often than not, design is also like something you create from within you. It's also subjective. So if you're always looking at Dribble and Insta and stuff, the thing is, there's a higher likelihood that we'll just copy the designs that we see. And that's the best case scenario. And the worst case scenario is that we will look at these designs and feel demotivated and not create our own take on it. That's my biggest thing with all these things is, you look at all these, like Dribble shots, and a lot of these people, they're not even working designers. They're just posting this, that's it. And obviously you'll get like crazy amount of likes and stuff, and it'll make you start questioning your work. Another thing about imposter syndrome is that, which doesn't factor this in, is when you look at someone's Dribble shot, when you look at someone's portfolio, and you're like, wow, that's a dream portfolio. But what we don't realize is that we are in version 2. Like, we are just getting started. This is our second attempt. The person whose work we're admiring, and because of that, we might be facing imposter syndrome because we're not that good as them. They might be in version 50 of their portfolio, or that project, or that Dribble shot, version 50. So it's like, we don't know the backstory. So comparing ourselves to them, it's pointless. It's really, really pointless. So my thing to everyone would be, don't do that. And by the way, if you have any questions that you're facing with imposter syndrome, like what type of imposter syndrome you're facing, what area are you facing that in, let me know in the chat and I'll answer your questions. So that's my biggest thing with imposter syndrome, is like, you just have to do it. So for example, if you wanted to make your personal case study with imposter syndrome, it'll be like, oh, let me look at the top 20, like case studies out there. And when you do that, if you look at it with a positive mindset, which is hard, it's good. You can learn what's working, what's not, what to do. But more often than not, you will look at those case studies and you'll be like, I'm never going to be able to make a case study like that. I'm just, who am I? Like, like this person has made such an amazing case study, years of experience. I don't even have that. My projects suck compared to this project. And you will just postpone it. But the trick, as I said, to overcoming imposter syndrome is literally just doing the work. Literally just do the work. So instead of focusing on, I want to make a case study, where should I look for the best case studies? Stop. Make just a goddamn case study. Just literally make it. Like, don't worry about it. Just put the version one out. Like, don't even worry about, like, is my research method the best one? Is my explanation the best one? Literally just put it out there. Literally just put it out there. The best version one you can do. And then once you have something out there, then, look at some feedback, then improve to make version 2, version 3. But the thing is, if you're trying to get it perfect from version 1, you're never going to put version 1 out there. And you're never going to start. And then eventually you're going to talk yourself out of it. Yes, imposter syndrome is not just design. A lot of people have imposter syndrome about interviewing, about their accent, about, like the way they speak, or like there's so many different areas. Like one could be that the way I speak, like maybe I'm kind of nervous. Like maybe I don't speak English very well. Maybe I speak too fast. There's so many different things. The only thing is practice. Like you have to push yourself. Because see, at the end of the day, you might think that, okay, because my English is not perfect, people are going to judge me. But it's the idea that counts, right? It's the idea that counts. That's what makes the difference, right? So that's literally what I want to convey to you is that, like, it's just a small roadblock. Like being not, like, if you feel like, okay, English is not, like, my English is not that great, it's fine. But you can still, convey it to other people. And I just started speaking closer to the mic, so if the voice is still low, you can let me know. Yeah. So just an FYI, if the voice is still too low, you can let me know. I've increased it a little bit. But my thing with all of you is that don't let this stop you. Just put yourself out there. It's the idea that counts. Yes, if the idea is great, people don't care whether your English is awesome or not, because that's something you can always work on. It's not something that's going to be like, oh, cool, like this person doesn't speak good English, so we're not going to interview them. That's not true. What matters is communication. Communication. Because as a designer, you're not always going to be speaking. You can let your work speak for yourself too. So it's like, okay, well, I'm not good at public speaking or speaking to a large crowd. That's okay. You can work on it. But you can also let your work speak for itself too. So that's my advice to all of you is like with imposter syndrome, we're going to face it every day. It's never going to stop. Let's see. So the thing is, of course, because of imposter syndrome, you're like, I don't want to share my work. I don't want to put it out there because people are going to be like, it's not good. People are going to criticize it. It's not good. But the thing is, the more we keep it in, the longer we are not going to share that and not get feedback to improve. That's the problem with imposter syndrome. Like, I can think about like, oh, you know what? Like, I don't have like thousands of, viewers in my live stream. I shouldn't do it. Right? I should wait till I get like that much following on YouTube. But the thing is, if I think that way, I'm never going to start. I'm never going to have this stream like I'm doing right now. I have to show up and I have to believe that I'm going to share what I have now, regardless whether there's 14 people on the stream or there's like 1400. I am making in the effort and leave the rest up to the universe to figure out. That's the way I approach it. So my advice for you would be literally, go ahead and just keep sharing what you have and just realize that you're a work in progress. You're not perfect right now. It's okay. And folks, please like the stream. Smash that goddamn like button. If you haven't, like subscribe to my channel. I'm very, very close to 400 subscribers. So please help me smash the subscribe button. Help me get to that 400 subscribers today. That would be like so awesome and make my day. But even if not, I'm still going to show up here. I'm still going to put in the work. Yes, this happens initially. With practice, it gets better. You will have some idea in your head and you're trying to convey it to other people, but it just doesn't come out the right way. But with more repetition, what happens is the imposter syndrome calms down. You get better and better, and you will see progress. But the thing is, you have to show up. You have to put in the work, no matter what, right? Like there are some days when I wake up and I'm like, okay, like initially when I started the stream, there was only like initially just 2 people like tuned in, and now it's 13. So I was like, oh man, like, oh, I don't know how I feel. But then it's like, you know what? It doesn't matter. So yes, initially for you as well, you will go all around the place when you're trying to communicate an idea. Like say this, say that, go around the bush. Instead of going like this, you will like go around the way like that, which is fine. But after a while, you will get better. You will get better. But the thing is, you cannot skip those repetitions and cave into imposter syndrome, which is like, I'm not good at communicating ideas. Why should I speak? Force yourself to raise your hand. Force yourself to get uncomfortable. Do it. Just do it. So, all of you, I think, have the power to overcome imposter syndrome in your lives, because the thing is, you're showing up here, right? Like you could have done, like I always say, like this time right now, you could have chosen to just like watch a show on Netflix, but you're not. You're investing in yourself. That tells me that if you're willing to invest in yourself with small encouragement, or just pushing yourself, all of you on this call right now or the stream will overcome and have the power to overcome imposter syndrome. That's it. And it's going to be a lifelong journey as long as you're a creative person. Like it doesn't go away. Any new thing you do, any new job you join, any interview you go to, you will doubt your caliber. You will feel that fear of imposter syndrome. But remember that the mere act of just doing the action and not worrying about judgment. Let the process judge you. Let the hiring people judge whether you're a good fit or not. Let the audience view your content and figure out whether it's good or not. Your job is just to create. Just to create. And this is also another issue as well. You will be a part of a design community and you will see someone who is like a lead designer at a big company, right? The company you always wanted to work at, right? A company you always thought of joining, right? And it's paralyzing. It is paralyzing because it's going to be like, oh wow, like how am I going to get there? Like this person has already there where I want to be, and they're so advanced than me. They have so much more experience. Their portfolio is so much better than me, right? And exactly, everyone is a noob. Everyone is just trying to figure it out. My thing is, when you meet people that make you feel like you're out of your depth, it's a good thing, because now you know that your glass is empty. You can receive from them. If you're in a room where you are the top designer, where you have more experience than everyone, you're not going to learn. You're not really going to learn, because it's like you already know everything's there. So if anything, I want to be in a place where I feel like out of my depth, because it forces me to learn. It forces me to kind of connect with all these other people and be like, how can I learn from them? So instead of viewing, if you go to a meetup and you feel, or if you go in a room in a community or anywhere and you feel like, wow, this person has way better experience than me and I feel out of my depth, it's okay. Sit down with them, buy them coffee and be like, hey, tell me about your journey. And when you hear about their journey, you realize that they also started from zero, right? Just like us. So that's where I get motivation from. And if anything, I try to like get them to be my mentor or invest in me, right? So that I can also be like them. And I am super excited, Yuvraj. Just one more to go. Please, if anybody's so generous, please hit that subscribe button. I really want to hit the 400 subscribers today, but thank you so much, everyone, for the love. I appreciate it. Great question. So the thing is, over time, like imposter syndrome never goes away. Like there's never a time where imposter syndrome will be 100% like a disease, just be cured. It doesn't work like that. It will always come up, but the more and more you deal with it, you can control the impact of imposter syndrome. So the first time when I was trying to like get into the design field, I was so nervous. I had a huge amount of imposter syndrome. In my first design job, I was like, am I going to be able to do it? Am I a fraud? Like, why did they hire me? But once you do it again and again and you face imposter syndrome, right? This enemy again and again, their power over you decreases. So then what happens is, if the first time you deal with imposter syndrome, it's nerve wracking, you can barely cope with it. But the second, third, fourth, fifth time you deal with it, what happens is you're like, you know what? I think I know how to handle this beast. So that's the reason why it decreases, because the influence that it has on you slowly goes down. Like in your first job, you're nervous, like what will your boss say? Will you be fired? In your fifth job in your career, you'll be like, you know what? I think I've got this. So you're able to talk down the imposter syndrome because you've done this enough times. And that again is going back to what I'm saying. You have to put in the reps. You have to put in the reps. And the more reps you put in, the better you keep getting. Literally. So exactly. Like when you reframe the emotional response to the situation, that changes literally everything. Literally changes everything, right? So if I get rejected, I'm like, oh, cool, good learning experience for me. Um, if I feel nervous about putting something out there, I'm like, oh, you know what? This is just a way for me to get feedback. It's cool. By the way, let me know. One of the ideas that I have in one of the future upcoming streams that would be valuable is, what if I took a very famous website like, let's say, Amazon, or maybe some niche website like Chime Bank, like something that maybe most people, like most of you, may not know. And what if like I dissected the UX behind it? What if I dissected the UX behind it, like what makes this website or app really good? And I walk through like what to pay attention to the design wise. Would that be of like help? Let me know. I want to like test one of the streams with that idea, see how that goes. But it would be kind of cool to just hear like if you all would be interested in an idea like that. So let me know. Exactly. Everyone should be like you. Literally. Everyone be like her. Literally like put in the reps today. Like literally put in the reps. And then see where that journey takes you. Right? Because at the end of the day, the only thing you can control is put in the reps. You cannot control how your design will do, how it will be perceived by other people, whether you will get hired or not. You don't. You don't. Okay, awesome. Um, so definitely, okay, cool. There's a lot of like good response. Okay, now this is good. This is good because I've just been excited by that idea, because I think that when I look at certain interfaces, like some ideas, like some people may not even notice that, oh wow, this was something very cool, and I'm like, oh wow, I spotted that as a designer. So if anything, it will help all of you improve your design eye, so to speak. But in closing, oh, by the way, one more, let me quickly give a shout out to this thing right here. So I do have a free email course. It's basically a 7-day free email course to help you level up your design career. So if you haven't, subscribe to it. I'm going to put the link in the chat as well. This is the link. Yes, this is the link. And yes. So definitely check out the email course if you haven't. It's free. And yes, like I am super excited to hit 500 subs as well. And when we do hit that, just remind me, I will speak in Gujarati. I'll speak whatever you want, whatever you say, I'll speak in Gujarati. Um, uh, Usually I just speak that at home with parents and stuff, but most of the time I don't get to speak it much. So I'll speak in that. It's just like a fun power unlock bonus, or Hindi or Gujarati, whatever. We'll see. But yeah. So once again, everyone, just to summarize today's stream, imposter syndrome doesn't go away. It will be there for the rest of your career, right? In different fields as you do it, different things that you try. The only thing is, with more repetitions, the more time you face imposter syndrome and still do the action, still put in the reps, what's going to happen is you will slowly and slowly get better at dealing with imposter syndrome. And over time, its impact that it has on you will decrease. And at one point, literally, it'll get to the point where you will notice imposter syndrome, but you just will not be affected by it. It will be there, but you just won't be affected. You'll still do what you have to do. So with that, folks, thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone. Like, I'm really super stoked that, all of you came today. And I don't even know how many subs, but, helped me get to close to 400 subs. Like, it means a lot to me that, all of you are tuning in and giving me energy as well, and inspiration to kind of keep doing this. So thank you to all of you. Like really, without all of you, I couldn't have done this. And I really want to help all of you become the best designers that you all can be. Like learn from all my mistakes that I made so you don't make them, right? It will save some learning time for all of you as well. So it means a lot to me that all of you just um, showed up there. So thank you and namaste.